Gentlemen, what the fuck is up? We are live. We are here, Red Pill Smash Bros. I don't even remember what episode it is. It doesn't matter. But I'm here with UFC legend John Fitch. And guess what? Your man, Donovan Sharpe, is in the house. So please do pay attention, have some questions. I'm going to fire up the phone lines here in a little bit. First, we should and we ought to have a little bit of a convo just in general. We were having a bit of a convo beforehand, but you know, our friends at YouTube, we praise the overlords at YouTube. So we were talking, we were just saying how great their strategy is on all that stuff. So,
yeah, man.
Donovan's been going through some stuff. Donovan, I don't know if you're aware, I didn't have much of a following on Twitter, but I had a pretty viral tweet that went out about a month ago, let's say. And it kicked the fucking hornet's nest of feminism, and they came at me full force. I mean, believe it or not, though, it got retweeted probably close to 8,000 times, something like that.
No shit.
Conservative Twitter bought into it a bit. It had I forgot 13,000 likes and so forth. And then, the feminists kind of just started uploading it to all their pages on Reddit and all sorts of stuff all over Facebook. And they started reporting me and doing a whole bunch of craziness, and I ended up getting booted from Twitter for it. And it wasn't anything crazy.
Shit. No.
It wasn't anything crazy, dude. It was just holding some standards. Like, I was sitting. I'm big time into online dating. I pull a lot of my leads. I source a lot from online dating, on top of obviously, pickup and a whole bunch of other stuff. Just natural game. And I was scrolling through one night. I live in San Diego, mind you. And this is kind of like professional woman utopia, so to speak, where it's like, oh, I can still be 34, 36, 42, and I can use my social status clout of having like a title at work, right, as my means of getting respect, because most guys here are pretty soft. They're like, oh, you need to respect women and you need to appreciate their hard work of their PhD or their master's degree.
I don't need to appreciate a goddamn thing. Listen, man, exactly. That's what it comes down to. And here's the thing, man.
I don't care about a guy's PhD. Why should I care about a girl's?
Exactly, right? Like, listen, if a person achieves a PhD, hey, good for you, right? Hey, I'm going to give you all the kudos. You got the piece of paper, this, that, and the other. But as far as I'm concerned, if a woman gets a PhD, that doesn't mean anything to me. At least not as far as my sexual attraction to her goes. Maybe I'll give her a little bit of academic respect, but even still, we know that women don't take the road less traveled. In other words, not to say that she didn't work for the PhD, but women are notorious for taking shortcuts in every part of their lives, most notably education, right? So on her way to that PhD, you didn't think that she cheated on something? You didn't think that she got the answers to the test, right? You didn't think that she stole a dissertation off of the internet? You don't think that she got one of her beta orbiters to write her dissertation to get her PhD? I'm not saying this happens all the time, but just because you have a PhD does not mean that I have to respect you. As far as women are concerned, women have to earn the respect of a man by being a feminine woman. That's the way that goes for me.
Yeah, Rich Cooper has it, and he says it best. The best way for you to gain respect from a man is for you to preserve your value. And how do you preserve your value in today's modern society, when instant gratification and the ability to just be a fucking full-blown heathen is at your fingertips, and there is really no social pressure for you to be that person? Right? There's a select group of men right now, which I believe is the red pill, that is sitting here saying, no. Like, we recognize right now that the social contract is out the window. But in order to regain it, in order for me to give you what you're coming after, these are the things I'm looking for. And that's all that tweet was. It was be fit, be feminine, be cute, be flirtatious. I said the word chaste too as well. Because I don't want to settle down. I'm not even going to think about a woman with a high cock count, to be honest with you. Yeah. Plain and simple. Like, especially, dude, Donovan, I don't know. You haven't really been in the game, right? You've been with Devin for how long now?
Oh, Jesus fucking Christ. Almost, oh my God. I met her back in 16. Made her my girlfriend late 17. So yeah, I've known her now for 4 years and dating exclusively now for 2.5 years. So yeah, it's been a little while.
That 2 years.
I was off the dating market for 15 years.
Shit.
So to step back into fucking what's out here now is
quite a change, right?
Yeah.
It's insane to see the
me and
levels of
wife
women.
just separated, and I went out to a bar, and this girl, the 27-year-old girl, started, hitting on me, trying to get my number, and she was on a Bumble date with somebody else.
Oh my God.
And the only reason she knew who I was is because he got excited because he knew who I was.
Right. So she's trying to bang you.
Yeah. I'm like,
man.
I'm like, what is going on? I was like, she's like, I'm on a Bumble date, but I'm not really feeling it. She's still left with the guy.
She saw the ability to monkey branch right then and there.
Well, listen, she says I'm on a Bumble date. I'm not really feeling it, right? This means that she wanted to fuck you, right?
Yes, but I didn't know what to do yet with myself, because I've been so out of the game.
Right,
that was a fumble, big time. I gave her my card.
Well, wow. In the future, here's how you handle that. If you're at a bar and a woman approaches you and she's on a Bumble date, you say, listen, I'll tell you, listen, you're not really feeling it. Tell you what you're going to do. Have that guy take you out to dinner, right? Get steak, potatoes, blah, 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 blah. Cut it at that date. Meet me at my place. Here's my address. Here's my number. Bring me the leftovers. We'll have fun. That happens all the time. Yeah. Dude, do you know how many times I've eaten for free off of a I'm not feeling it type of Bumble date or some chick's boyfriend or husband? It's unbelievable.
That's solid. Yeah, man, I'm telling you. So living here in San Diego right now and dealing with these women, holy man, I'll tell you what, I ran into this 19-year-old girl. I live around 4 college campuses right now. Ran into this 19-year-old. This fucking sugar daddy stuff is going through the roof right now.
Oh, it's
through the
roof, dude. Like on the Bumble and the Tinder, like every third picture is a sugar baby.
Yeah, they're all trying. They're all trying now. They're just throwing it out there. Like they'll throw their Cash App on there. They'll throw whatever, or they'll be like, "Hey, hungry college girl looking for someone to take care of you."
Struggling to pay my bills while my modeling career takes off.
Yeah, thirsty. Right? You're not hungry, baby girl. You're thirsty. Here's the thing, man. Here's what a lot of people have to really, really understand these days is that if a woman is good looking, right? Really, really good looking girls, women in this country, I would say 8s, 9s, 10s, maybe even the occasional 7, they monetize their looks on some level, right? Like we had a guy called the Red Man Group.
You got 4s and 5s out here in the Bay Area monetizing.
Of course, right, dude.
They're all doing it.
And if 4s and 5s can monetize their beauty, then what do you think 8s, 9s, and 10s are doing, right? So a guy called up and he's trying to be, Mr. Big Shit. I'm fucking 8s, 9s, and 10s and this. And I said, well, wait a minute. I said, wait a minute, dude. Like, listen, I'm glad that you're fucking 8s, 9s, and 10s, but you do understand that you're probably just a John. Well, what are you talking about? I fuck 8s, 9s, and 10s. No. If you're fucking 8s, 9s, and 10s, that means you are paying, my friend, because most 8s, 9s, and 10s in this country require you to come up off some money to see them, right? The typical 8, 9, or 10, just like you said, they're on Tinder, they're on Seeking Arrangements, they're on, sugarbaby.com. Yeah, Ashley Madison. They require you to have upfront cash, or they require you to shower them in extravagant gifts just for the privilege of being seen with them. So if you're fucking 8s, 9s, and 10s, you're not really fucking them for free. Listen, anybody can pay anybody for anything, right? Oh, I'm fucking 8s, 9s, and 10s. Yeah, but if you're paying for it all, it doesn't really count, right? But if you're gaming 8s, 9s, and 10s, okay, that's fine. Fucking 8s, 9s, and 10s for free, that's the man with game. So again, the best looking women in this country are monetizing everything.
Pay you.
That's that's called.
I've met a few of those guys in my life where they lived in somebody else's the girl's apartment. They got a few girls, like they didn't have a job, but they always had money.
That's actually called a hobosexual. By the way.
Shit.
Yes, listen, look it up. It's a thing. It is called a hobosexual, a man who has sex with these women because he needs or wants a place to stay. That's how it is. It's a thing.
So Donovan, you come from the philosophy though that 9s and 10s are community property. Can you explain that a little bit further?
Oh yeah. 8s, 9s, and 10s now are community property. Yeah. 8s, 9s, and 10s belong to the game. And when I say belong to the game, this means that you are not going. If you're looking for a long-term relationship, you need to stay away from 8s, 9s, and 10s. And the reason I say this is because 8s, 9s, and 10s being community property, they're notoriously difficult to game. In other words, they're notoriously difficult to fuck for free. Right now, it's been a while, just like you guys said, since I've been in the game, right, dude? I used to be able to fuck 8s, 9s, and 10s for free all day long, dude. I was fucking strippers, getting blow for free, getting cocaine, like it was all fun and games. But times have changed, man. Times have changed, and I think what a lot of people have to understand is that is that 8s, 9s, and 10s, they have high notch counts, but you're not going to keep them in line. They belong to the game, right? 8s, 9s, and 10s will never, ever, ever in this day and age make a good wife or mother. So if you are looking for a relationship, understand that 8s, 9s, and 10s are not going to be in the cards for you. Now, is it possible to keep an 8, a 9, or a 10 in line? Absolutely. But it's very difficult. It takes a lot of time and a lot of patience. Every woman is a headache to some degree. 8s, 9s, and 10s are fucking migraines. Because Steve the Dean always, and Steve the Dean, bless his heart, he's the type of guy who's like, well, listen, it doesn't matter how good she looks. You got to make sure and put your foot down. Okay, he's absolutely right. But 8s, 9s, and 10s require a little bit firmer a hand because of the options that they have. And if they have options, knowing women to be impulsive like they are, they're going to give them into temptation far more likely than not, meaning that they probably cheated on every one of their boyfriends, meaning they probably have high notch counts. Community property. They belong to the game. And if everybody's fucked 8s, 9s, or 10s, then they don't really belong to anybody. That's why I say they are community property. Do not make an 8, a 9, or a 10 your main chick. You will regret it.
Yeah, the biggest problem with those types of ladies too, and this is something that I've come across, is I banged this one girl who's a super hot promo girl. She's like high level on Instagram and all this stuff just recently. She came over, fucking dressed to the nines. And I was just seriously, I was wrecking a 6, literally 10 minutes beforehand. And I was like, this 10 hits me up. I literally had the cell phone on this girl's back as I was hitting her from behind, nice. waiting for her to come through. So then the 10 comes through. I'm like, all right, hey, I got to go. So I run in the bathroom. I tell the girl, hey, you got to get out of here kind of deal. Get all my stuff, bring her outside. And then the 10 starts driving up. Anyway, I was doing everything I could to the 6, everything. Like it was good sex. Like there were no holds barred, if that makes any sense to you. You understand where I'm going with this?
Oh yeah, I know.
10 comes over, and it's just like prissy fucking diva status where it's like, oh, we're not having sex. It's like, yes, we are. You're fucking barely wearing any clothes. Like lay down on get on my bed.
Yeah, like who are we joking? Yeah.
Yeah. You're so bossy. You're so whatever. It's like, shut up. Like, just shut the fuck up, right?
Listen, if a girl ever calls you bossy, listen, my niece is bossy. I'm direct. Bend over.
Yeah, exactly. Like, this is my fucking domain. You don't make the rules in here, plain and simple. And if you don't like it, like, I have no problem kicking a girl out. If you're gonna play this way, like, honestly, there's the door. Yeah, exactly. Like, it's the total abundant mindset. So anyway, what it comes down to is the sex was vanilla. It was just, she wouldn't put my dick in her mouth. She wouldn't fucking. For some time, she wouldn't even fucking bend over and go doggy. Like, you got to remember, guys, like these 9s and 10s, they've been so programmed that their value is off of their identity, which it is, that they're also super insecure about having their identity lowered in any way, shape, or form. So the sex, granted, Dan Bilzerian can rock and roll 9s and 10s and get whatever out of them because his social value is so high.
Sure.
Right? It doesn't matter. Like, they're going to give him porn star sex and ask for more because of what he's giving to her, right? But for the average Joe, that's just a fucking basic, anybody that can pull fucking these women with game, you're going to have a higher level of pushback and resistance, and you're going to have to put a lot more work into it. That's why I tell these guys, like, this should be a pyramid. You should be sourcing mostly 6s and 7s as the types of women that you're hooking up with and spinning plates around, because it's just, you're going to get the better sex and you're going to have women that are going to fall better into your frame. It's a way better experience. But you get these guys that are sitting here with low notch counts that are very, they're not experienced. And they're like, I want 8s, 9s, and 10s. It's like, yeah, no shit, doesn't every guy.
Yeah,
but you can't get them. You can't get them. You're not going to get them with the level of game that you have.
Well, you got to crawl before you can walk, right? Like, dude, but like, I didn't just move to Vegas and just start banging strippers. No. I had to fuck the 5s and the 6s before I moved on to 7s and 8s, et cetera, et cetera. But going back to what you said, it's no surprise that the sex was lackluster with the 10. Understand this, and you, John, and you, Corey, you guys can probably speak to this. But for those of you guys who don't know and don't understand, guys who are not experienced, you will never get porn star sex from 8s, 9s, and 10s. Every once in a while, you might get one that tries a little bit. The best sex that you will ever have will be with 6s and 7s. And the reason for this is because 9s and 10s know. See, the thing is this. Most men are not experienced, right? So if a man has sex with a 9 or a 10, all that is required for it to be good sex for the inexperienced man with the 8, the 9, or the 10 is for her to just be there. She has a hot body, hot face, blah, 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 blah. So all she has had to do in the past to elicit a favorable sexual response from most men is just to be there. Starfish sex. Starfish sex. I didn't suck the guy's dick. He's telling me I'm a sex goddess. No, he's just inexperienced. 6s and 7s know that they have the SMV deficiency. They know that they don't have the body or the looks of the 8, the 9, or the 10. So in order to sort of close the gap between the 8s, 9s, and 10s, they make up for it in other areas, namely sex. 6s and 7s will suck the fucking color off your dick. They'll let you fuck them in the ass. They'll let you give them facials. Don't get me wrong. I've had great sex with 9s and 10s, but at a much lower rate than 6s and 7s.
Yeah,
so on average, 6s and 6s and 7s will fuck you much better than 9s and 10s every time.
Your ROI isn't there. Your 8s, 9s, and 10s, you should have it too, especially because the next level that I'm going to try to get into is the Instagram game, and that's huge. I mean, that is like the global market. That's the global sexual market competing at the highest level.
Yep.
When you do that, you need to have, if you're going out with 8s, 9s, and 10s, you need to also, and you should be getting some kind of social proof from them. That's really where their value should be coming in, because the ROI for good sex isn't going to be there, guys. Like that's one thing I want to forewarn you on, is like have a backup plan of how you're going to get value out of those women. Use them for pre-selection.
Use them for more than sex. And here's the thing. What you have to understand is that every hot girl that you fuck, you have to get more from her. You have to get more out of her than just sex. Just like you said, use her for pre-selection. Let people see you with her. Take selfies with her. Take pictures with her of you doing stuff with her. Put them on your social media. Put them on your dating apps, right? One begets another. So another hot chick says, oh, okay, well, he's with a hot chick. He's with this hot chick. Let me see what all the fuss is about. Rinse and repeat. If all you're getting out of super hot chicks is sex, you are fucking losing. You use one to get the other to get the other. I mean, this game is as old as time itself.
I agree. I think it's the first marketplace that's ever been created. The sexual marketplace is the original marketplace.
It's the original marketplace, man. Yep, it really is.
What are your thoughts though? Because there's going to be some fucking idiots out there. Sorry to anyone out there that's thinking this, but it's kind of moronic in a way. What are your thoughts on being able to turn a 9 or a 10 into a feminine housewife?
Oh, wow. John, what do you think?
I think John tried this.
Yeah, it's just this. My opinions with just long-term relationships in general now and marriage is just the conditions surrounding it just don't support it. Like there's no constraints. There's nothing telling a girl to stay with their man, because you're with someone long enough, there's going to be ups and downs. Like, you go 10 years deep into a relationship, like you're going to, there's going to be ups and downs there. So if there's no social constraints and like, hey, just stick it out, rich or poor, that type of shit. Like it just doesn't seem good. A good strategy. So, I think unless
you got to kind of have a strong, if you're going to get into any type of LTR, especially with a woman that has a high SMV, your pimp hand has to be pretty damn strong.
Well, your pimp hand has to be strong, and your SMV has to be. Your SMV has to be
like type of society, like they're Mormons or they're Muslim, or they have like a really strict religious type hierarchy or something going on there. They still have, and those religions still have the outside forces of avoiding and not answering to your hypergamy.
Well, they used to have the ostracization factor, right? Yes. That's what those religions used to have. But now that everything's globally connected, that people can jump into other whatevers, that people can completely recreate themselves. I mean, I'm even seeing it right now. Here
Nobody's really ostracized, right?
Right. No one's ostracized, right? And that was that was a woman's biggest fear, was being ostracized socially.
You can't hold anybody to a standard.
Well, because that's what the shaming tactic used to be for women, is that we would ostracize you from society. Right?
Yeah, there's a built-in deterrent for being a slut, right? Exactly. If you got pregnant by a man other than your husband, what did they used to do? They used to send you off to your aunts, uncles, to a farm, have the kid, try to come back, and maybe lock somebody down. But they knew your chances were slim at that point. So not only did we have the ostracization of these people, it was sort of a built-in deterrent. But as far as turning 9s and 10s into housewives, I suppose it's possible. Again, it's just very, very difficult. You have to have a strong pimp hand, and your sexual market value has to be high.
Yeah,
she has to see that you have to
maintain. I'll say that that's what happened with my marriage. Is I kind of created my ex into a 9 or 10, and but then I struggled with money. I struggled with my job. I struggled with my social circle. So my SMV failed. It floundered. And because there was no external social pressure for her to stay in the marriage, like she jumped to the next guy who made more money than me.
Yeah, that's how that goes, man.
Yeah, and then I would even say too, there's maybe possibly in her mind, these hoes be fucking monkey branching like nobody's business. They got it already set up.
Yeah.
She's like, oh, he's up and coming in the UFC. Even if he doesn't make it to become champ or whatever, top of the line, I'm still gonna be in that circle. So for her investment was great until the decline started to happen. And then it was like abandon ship.
And John, you fought GSP, right?
Yeah, back in 2008.
Yeah, back in 2008. Dude, think your ex-wife didn't have her eye on GSP, right? Like this is just how it is. At that point, he was a bigger name than you were. And it's just, and again, and guys always, I think guys always make the mistake of blaming everything on hypergamy. And hypergamy is it is a woman consolidating on the highest value. Well, yeah, it's a woman consolidating on the highest value men available to them. That's how that works. Even ugly girls exercise hypergamy. If a higher value guy is available to her, she is going to try to monkey branch to that guy.
I say everything falls under two categories that drive everything, and that's survival. It's the first rule is survival. Everything we choose to do is based around, is this going to help me survive and live? And then two is reproduction.
Yeah,
it's another form, which is another form of survival. Are my genes going to survive? So it makes sense that a woman is going to jump ship and monkey branch to somebody else. If the current guy she's with isn't going to help her survive, then he's out.
Well, this is why we teach in this sector of the web, always just like you said, John, maintain and increase. So, well, what do we do, Donovan? If all women are going to monkey branch at some point, then why get into relationships? Well, that's a topic for another day and time. But all you can do, there are no guarantees, okay? But all you can do is make sure that you reduce the odds of you getting monkey branched on. Dude, make sure you stay fit. Make sure you stay financially disciplined. Make sure you keep that pimp hand strong. Make sure that you understand her nature and how to mitigate those risks. Because if you sleepwalk through your relationship, she is going to monkey branch on you. A woman does not love you for who you are. She loves you for what you are. There are conditions to a woman's love, and respect and sexual market value are two very important ones. So understand that, hey, listen, if you want to reduce, there's no guarantees your wife isn't going to monkey branch. But if you want to reduce the odds of that happening, keep your value as high as possible.
Absolutely. And then my other big problem was not controlling the finances. Like a lot of that could have been avoided if she just, if she wouldn't have seen what was in the bank account. I could have kept up appearances, and it would have been less of a problem.
Give her an allowance.
Yeah, right.
Now, just because, who watched the fight last night?
I did.
Yeah, I did.
I watched them, dude. I watched all fucking 14 undercards. I was like, yo. How many fight, dude? The Holly Holm fight, that was boring. It was boring. The strategy was effective. She won, but it was boring as fucking shit. Oh my god, the heavyweight fight was really good. That was a really good
that
fight.
was fucking awesome. I couldn't believe it.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, those dudes were pulling off some jujitsu that you never thought fucking big dudes would be pulling off.
I'm gonna tell you what, man. Awesome. I forget the black dude's name, but the fact that he survived that first round, right? Yeah. The hole that he was in, the guy couldn't breathe. But he survived the rest of the round. It was,
and he started hammer fisting him at the end of the round. I couldn't believe it.
God,
he had the ability to do that. That was insane,
dude. That was, and he was completely winded. He had all of his wind back. It was absolutely fucking crazy. That was a good match. That was a really good match.
I thought so too. But let's talk about the main event.
Was it all 40 seconds of it?
It's all pro wrestling.
Was it thrown, John?
Remember,
was it thrown?
It's not a sport. It's not a sport. It's pro wrestling. You have two guys who are journeymen. They're not in the top 20. They're not even in the top 20. But they sell tickets. It's pro wrestling. 100%.
Oh wow! So you think it was so? So you're saying that Cowboy didn't go in there and lay down, but he didn't necessarily give his best effort, because what really did it,
I believe that he was retired before that fight even took place, before they even negotiated that. They're like, what's the fight we can make the most money off of? Oh, Iron Sheik versus Hulk Hogan. That's what they did.
I pay for it. I pay for Iron. I pay for Sheik versus Hogan.
And that's fine. I don't have a problem with fun matchups, but when you completely just disrespect the idea of meritocracy and a sport altogether.
He obliterated Cowboy, dude. I've never seen anybody. He hit him with four, like he blooded his nose with the four shoulders. Then he hits him with the left, and of course the left kick to the head. That was all. Then he jumped on top of him. That was it.
Cerrone was done after that second shoulder, though.
Yes, sir.
That was right in the nose. Started. He got paid what he wanted to get paid to fight one more time.
That's what I was at. That's the question I was really asking.
He bled. He's like, I'm bleeding.
They fought at 170, so they didn't really have to make weight. Yeah. I have a conspiracy theory behind all this too, because Conor knew after the Khabib fight that he couldn't beat Khabib, so he's going to abandon 155. He's too big for 145. He's not going to be able to make that again. So he purposely took a year off and started doing steroids. Right? Steroids, whiskey, and cocaine led to his sexual assault allegation that happened over a year ago. And the continued use of cocaine and whiskey and steroids led to his second sexual assault in this past year. And then he beats himself up because he wanted to make the move to 170. He knew he was taking the time off so he could roid up.
They're talking about him fighting Khabib, though.
Then the consequences of him doing that. I think he's possibly going to prison, and they're just talking a lot of shit for pro wrestling purposes to sell more tickets to make more money until he goes.
He won't go to prison. He's too big a star to go to prison.
No, he's too big right now. Me and Jason Burmis did a video, and Jason Burmis has done a lot of reporting on this. He's looked up all the facts, all the release stuff, the police statements, the comments the policemen have made, the fact that Conor went to the police the day after the rape supposedly happened and admitted to having consensual sex with the girl. There's just a lot of bad stuff that looks pretty damning. I have a hard time thinking that they had a politician in their parliament making comments about it.
That's crazy.
Like, it's a big story. It's a big deal. And I don't know. Like, I'm not all into this, like, Me Too false accusation stuff.
Yeah, but that's what this is. Listen, hold on. That's what this is, because check this out. Conor McGregor doesn't have to rape anyone, dude. Like, dude, people, listen,
women and men throw pussy at him all the time. He was in her suite with a bunch of other people. He viciously beat up and raped a girl in front of these people. He's a friend. He's a friend of a friend. The girl didn't report it. Somebody who witnessed it in the room reported it. They've already offered her $1 million to keep quiet, and she turned it down.
Okay. Yeah, well, I guess we'll see what happens.
There's a lot of. I'm kind of on the same side as. There's a release series of text from WhatsApp of conversations about this. There's comments made by the police people who took.
Why would he do that though? Why would he beat and
steroids, cocaine, and whiskey, and nobody telling him no?
That makes sense, but why would he do that for all the world to see? Like, dude, we have professional athletes getting accused of rape all the time. Mike Tyson, famously, back in 92, what was it, 92, 93, was convicted of rape. Like, again, professional athletes are always targets, number one. But the second reason, the second reason I think that this is probably bullshit is just what I said before. Conor McGregor doesn't have to rape anybody. There's no need for him to have to rape anybody. Women throw themselves at him all the time. So why break the law to get something that you can get without breaking the law for free? It just doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah, I mean, no, I mean, if he's innocent, hopefully he's proven innocent. But like, if you do a little bit of research, just go into some of those videos that Jason Burmis has done around it and some of the facts and the things he's found around it. And it looks, is
it all hearsay or is it like hard evidence?
It's man, everything around it is speculation because you don't know who the person is. They say Irish sports star.
Yeah.
Right. So all of the reporting, everything had done it. They say Irish sports star, but like, who's the Irish sports star?
But that's just it. If I'm the defense attorney and the prosecution brings in these people, well, it was Irish sports star. I'm sorry.
Well, no.
I mean, was he or was he not?
They know who it is. They know who's under investigation. The reporters say Irish sports star because that's the law in Ireland. Until there's a conviction, you can't.
Oh,
you can't
this was in Ireland too?
You can't say the name. So
Was
like,
that ain't like
the press in Ireland uses his silhouette. Like when they talk about it,
God,
they use his silhouette. You can see the cauliflower ears in the shadow, but like they're not allowed to legally say. There was reports leaked, like there's been people leaking information about it, that it's him. He's the one under investigation.
I hate to be this guy, but I'm going to be.
He did it
I'm
or
on
not,
Team Connor on this one.
I don't know
I'm going
if he
Team
did it or
Connor.
not, but he is the one who's under
He
investigation.
didn't do it.
Listen. Here's the thing. I'm not gonna. I wasn't there, so I don't know. But I do know this.
Same thing.
I do know that professional athletes are targets, number one. Number two, all it takes is for a woman to say, XYZ guy raped me. He doesn't want that in the press, so he's willing to be. Just because somebody's willing to pay somebody to shut up doesn't mean that, to me, that doesn't mean that they're guilty. That's the second thing. Number three, why didn't she go to the cops, right? If she didn't go to the cops,
because she was afraid of being retaliated against. The Irish mafia taking retaliation against her. She was afraid she was going to get killed because the Irish mafia was in the room also. It was a room full of people that this happened. Whether it was him or not.
If it's the Irish mafia involved, then he's definitely not going to get convicted because if the Irish mafia,
they already have an 8% conviction statistic for rape in Ireland.
Yeah, and that's okay. So he's going to get off. 8%.
He's more than likely going to get off. But
let me ask you this. Let me change the subject here just for a little bit. So, and I like the fact that you sort of have a conspiracy theory thing on this because somebody in the chat said Cowboy just stood in front of him and just acted like just didn't do anything. He's literally
he slipped the left hand. He could have hit a double leg and put him on his back. And Cowboy's way better at jiu-jitsu. That would have been an easy fight for Cowboy from that one moment, but he didn't. He just stopped. He didn't really do anything. Nose busted. He backs up away, gets kicked again. He already got his payday. He's happy.
So does he fight Jorge Masvidal next then, or Masvidal?
I mean, the UFC will go back through and they will do their computations to figure out which guy they can make the most money off of, and they'll put that fight together.
Dude, but you don't think he'll go? Well, he can't go down to 150. You think Khabib comes to 170 to fight him?
Well, he beats Tony, and there's nobody left for Khabib to fight at 155.
Well, then if he wants to make
maybe,
the fight
I mean, he could fight Justin Gaethje. That's probably the only other fight.
Yeah, but nobody's going to watch that, right? People will watch.
I don't see it selling. Yeah, so I think
people are going to watch Khabib.
Either Khabib retires or they find some big fight for him to fight. The best thing for him to do if GSP would come back and fight Khabib.
Oh, wow.
I would think that would be the biggest money maker they could do. Otherwise, I think the UFC is okay with letting Khabib go away because he's a good guy. He doesn't sell tickets for like debauchery and horrible shit. And
listen, if you fight McGregor, what happened after the fight though? Remember what happened? Well, not only that, dude, after the fight, that was crazy, right?
Yeah, the
eagle. The chance that could happen again, dude. Listen, I think if McGregor calls out Khabib, right? If he insults him, oh, you got lucky the last time. I'm gonna, I'll drink fucking proper number. I'll drink 8 shots of proper number 12. Get in the ring and beat your ass. Khabib will put on 15 pounds to come up and fight McGregor again. That would be an MMA fight.
I don't know if he would because if he doesn't respect him as a fighter, if he doesn't think he's worthy of it, Khabib's not the guy who will take the fight. He doesn't need money. He doesn't care about the money. He's already made the money. He has the support of Russia and Dagestan. He's got every Muslim in the world supporting him. Like he doesn't care.
He's got nothing left.
In Khabib's mind, he's like, why would I? And Khabib said it he said it in an interview in Russia. Why would I let this guy fight me? Why would I let this alcoholic rapist fight me? He said it in Russian out there. They edited it out. They edited out the rape part for broadcast.
But I'm gonna tell you what, dude. Listen, as crazy as Khabib acted after the fight, if I were Khabib and Conor said about me what Conor said about him, I'd be pretty fucking pissed off too, man.
Well, it's honor culture. If you said that shit about somebody on South Chicago or East Los Angeles, if you said that,
they're looking to fuck you up.
What's going to happen to you? Same shit. They're going going to shoot you. That's honor culture. Like you don't,
Yeah.
it's just, you know, like you don't think it's a big deal, but he's got to go back to his village and he's got to live with all these people for the rest of his life who think, oh,
Yeah.
you let that guy
Well,
shoot
and
him.
that's something,
right.
Oh,
You let him
man.
punk you, dude. Like, what the fuck? Yeah, no, I'm with
that's
you.
something that's bred into them. Like people don't understand this, like especially the Muslim culture, like that. Dude, these people.
Well, I say it's
Don't
more
just
like,
talk shit and get away
I think
with
it's more about small community mentality, you know, like
That's
it's
true.
a small
it's
town
tribe stuff,
mentality
for sure.
Like, because
Right.
those gang neighborhoods, it's the same thing. All they have is their rep because that's all that's there. Everybody in there in that town, you let somebody punk you, everybody knows you got punked and everybody's going to talk shit about you getting punked.
And now you're a target, right?
Yep. Now
you're a target. If he just let this outsider take whatever, then we're going to go in there and pillage his shit too. And he's not going to do a goddamn thing about it.
Yep. It's the old I mean the Appalachian. There's all the stories about the who are the two families, Hatfields and McCoys, right?
Yeah, right.
That's the same mentality, honor culture.
That's right.
Oh, you crossed, you hunted animals on our property, you killed one of our deer. Oh, okay. Now you disrespected us. We're gonna come and shoot your house up.
That's actually in a book, man. It's called Outliers by Malcolm Gladwell. Talked about the Hatfields and the McCoys. The fact that they're just, you know, they're quick on the trigger. You fuck with me, I fuck with you. Eye for an eye.
He talked about the amount of murders and things that took place at that time between those people in the Appalachians. It wasn't just Hatfields and McCoys. They were just kind of like names that went along with regular things. If man, you look at there was a documentary about the Whites or something, the guys who did the soft shoe, they did the tap dancing. They would be on picnic tables and throw sand down, and it's like a whole thing. But like they had all this talk about people killing each other and honor and respect, and it's a nut. It's just nutty. And people don't really understand that honor culture mindset, though.
Yeah, that's man shit, right? Like whatever happened, whatever happened to somebody getting fucked up because they talk shit about somebody, right? Like that doesn't really happen anymore. Like, I mean, we just saw it with Khabib Nurmagomedov, but other than that, it doesn't really happen unless they settle it in the ring. So no, I'm with you. Listen, man, and you have to, because of course Khabib is a steadily dying breed, at least in public, as far as I know.
Well, in the West, but that's the thing is he's not really from the West.
He ain't from the West. No, fuck no. Fuck no. He can fight though. He's 28-0. He's like 28, 29-0 or something like that. He's undefeated.
He should be. So, I'm not sure if they announced the date yet. The 18th, April 18th.
But, who's he fighting?
He's going to fight Tony.
Oh yeah.
Finally, so that's finally going to happen. But him and Tony.
He's not going to.
The crew will probably be back here in town pretty soon.
Oh, are you in Vegas?
No, I'm San Jose. He trains here at AKA with us.
Oh, solid. Yeah, he's got a net worth of $3 million. So yeah, he's doing all right. He's doing all right with money. So. Connor's got a net worth, I think, of like 120 million. And listen, money civilizes you, man.
I mean, I don't believe any of the reports and a lot of the talk that Connor has been putting about his pay out there, because the numbers aren't there through the class action lawsuit. Like we've seen all of UFC's financials up to 2017, and it doesn't add up. John Nash did a report on it for Bloody Elbow. He's been following the finances like closely than anybody else have. Everybody is kind of guessing at things, and they get it way wrong, and they have them way overpaid. The Nevada State Athletic Commission released the purses for this event, and they had Donald Cerrone at $200,000 a show, another $200,000 to win, and then Khabib was like Connor was at 3 or 3.5 million flat.
Yeah, it looks like most of McGregor's net worth came at the end of the Mayweather fight. He made 100, like Mayweather made 200 million off of that. McGregor made 100 million off of that.
Yeah. So he'd be like 80 from the fight and 80 or 15 million.
Yeah, 20 from the gate. Yeah. Like well, good God, I forgot about that part too. But yeah. So most of his net worth. So absent
most of his money comes from the Mayweather fight and the whiskey.
So absent the Mayweather money, he's got a net worth of 20 million, which sounds about right because he is the biggest star in MMA history. I think the greatest fighter in MMA history is probably John Jones. I put Anderson Silva I put Anderson Silva up there as well.
You got to put an asterisk by that with the picograms, though.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Yeah.
And
dude,
then
John Jones.
And then you got Anderson Silva too. So I have GSP at number 1 because he never got caught with anything.
No. And GSP is a fucking warrior, dude. God, wouldn't it be something?
I think I have GSP on top as pound for pound best ever.
Okay.
Demetrius Johnson's also up there. But
yes,
he's a little guy and nobody cares about the little guy.
Nope.
Yeah, I felt so bad for that shit, man, to be honest with you. He's probably one of the best as far as that's concerned. But I think it's one of those things, man, naturally, as far as us men are concerned as well, when you see someone who's that small, you can realize, I mean, it's just like when I roll jujitsu, I know that I can roll a black belt who's 145 and pretty much manhandle him. So it's like, is he a true champion? When you start getting into the 185 to 205 to the heavyweights.
Can you hear him?
Yeah.
I did.
You're freezing for some reason.
Yeah.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, it sounds like you're pixelated and robotic.
I'm like a robot.
Damn. It's probably because I got Blog Talk running right now too. And we got a caller on the line. Can you guys hear me now, or are we still?
No, it's still like you were good until about maybe 15 seconds ago. Now it's like.
Oh no.
Oh wait a minute. Maybe
this
is on our
people in the chat are saying I'm sounding good. People in the chat are saying I sound good. Yep. See, yeah, my voice at least sounds good. I think we're good, right? So
everyone says that
cool.
he's good on their end for whatever reason. It's like.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, everyone says it's good.
Yeah, maybe it's just
yeah, it's like broken up on mine
with
too.
You guys.
Yeah, that's fucking crazy.
Cool. Well, we're gonna keep going anyway. We got a caller. If you guys are ready to take a call.
Hold on a second. Hold on.
Uh-oh. What do we got? Yeah. If you guys are ready. We're holding. Uh-oh. What do we got? Yeah. We're holding now.
So I'm watching this on my iPad and it sounds fine, but through StreamYard, it's like it's weird.
That's really crazy.
You know what? I'm gonna jump out and then jump back in and see if that helps. Hang on.
All right, you do that. How about now, John? How we doing?
Yeah, you're still breaking up on mine.
No,
though.
Yeah. All right, Donovan. Let's see how that is now.
It's the same. What the hell is going on?
Shit.
Like we have a feminist infiltrator on and John's internet connection
and hacked.
That's crazy, dude.
After us.
Crazy.
Tell you what, Corey, you try jumping out and then jump it back in and see what happens.
If I do that, will it end the stream?
God damn, that's crazy, dude. Like it sounds fine on my iPad, but okay. All right. So he jumped out. So hopefully he'll jump back in here.
All right.
No, same deal. That's crazy, man.
Same thing.
Sound better.
That's fucking nuts.
I can hear.
Yeah, you can hear me at least a little bit
Somebody
better.
Somebody said they hated GSP. Who the hell hates GSP, man?
Yeah, how is that even possible? It's like
like what the fuck, dude?
Yeah, you can't. I mean, you can't not like the guy.
So John, you can hear me at least pretty well now. What about Donovan?
Yeah. So your pictures is pixelated, but I can hear you clear.
Yeah, and then we're waiting on Donovan to give me a response.
Okay. Yeah, it's still, you look a little pixelated, but the sound is still, it's weird.
As long Hang on a second. That's really what matters.
Hold on, Corey, say something.
Yeah.
I want Corey to say something, and then because I want you guys to see. Start talking.
All right, I am officially talking on the air right now, killing some airspace, seeing how this is sounding on Donovan's end.
Sounds perfect, but
yeah,
the video isn't great. But
I'm not worried about the visual. You guys know what I look like, so
as long as the sound is good, is all that matters.
Dude, that's crazy.
Anyway, we got a caller on the air. I'm going to take this call, and then we'll see how that plays out as well. All right. Let's hope this works. All right. Oh, we're going to get some feedback here. Hey, caller, can you hear me?
Hey, Corey, what's up? It's Brent.
What's going on, Brent?
God, what the hell is going on with this?
I was going to call and talk to you guys, talk to Donovan, see what's going on.
Yeah. All right, go ahead, ask the question. I'm going to try to relay it.
Okay. Well, I just had a big breakthrough, I guess, with all the red pill content. Big emotional breakdown. I just want to see what he would think I should do, and kind of move forward and stay strong about all this shit.
Okay. Huh. Where's that feedback coming from?
I think it's coming
okay.
from
Now I heard what he said. Tell him to explain what the situation is. And by the way,
Uh-oh.
wait a minute. There we are. By the way, there's an idiot in the chat who says that he could take GSP. That all he need would be 6 months to train and I could wipe the floor with him. Dude, shut the fuck up, man. Get the fuck out of here, man. What are you, Mr. fucking internet YouTube tough guy? What are we supposed to say? Ooh, what the fuck is his name? I am the 9. I am the 9, so he can take GSP. So surely he can take GSP. Dude, fuck out of here, man. Dude, what are you weighing? Like 109? What are you weighing? Like 109? Get the fuck out of here. And Bitsy says, I believe him. So you're a dumbass just like he is. I swear to God, dude, the internet makes people so stupid. I could take GSP. The guy's a professional fucking fighter. The hell are you thinking, man? Oh, wait a minute. Now, wait, he says, I think I can beat that. Well, now he might actually be able to beat Cowboy. Like, if somebody says I can beat Cowboy, I can't hate on that, right?
Yeah, I feel that.
Oh, I hear you clearly.
I mean, yeah, good. So yeah, especially after last night's kind of debacle. I mean, Cowboy doesn't seem like, and I'll tell you one thing too, from what I saw, like you could kind of see in his wife's eyes before going out there, she had no fucking what's it called? She had no faith in him whatsoever. No faith.
What?
It was almost like,
oh, there we are. Right, I can hear now.
She had no faith in him. Yeah, she had no faith in him. It was almost like 200. Dude, I'm the 9. I love you, bro.
He's an idiot. I'm not even looking at that anymore. He's
you're
like,
crazy,
you're old,
bro.
baldy. Oh God, get the fuck break. I'm bald. Like, oh Jesus. Oh boy. These fucking I don't know where these idiots
Yeah, I feel you. What was I saying? Oh yeah, his wife. You could see it in her eyes. I think going back to like what John was talking about.
Yeah, she knew he'd get his ass.
Now that I'm kind of like, I don't even know if it's that. What if she knew that it was him going in there to throw the fight?
Oh,
there's no level of respect that's associated to that.
I have never heard this from anybody anywhere. Maybe I'm just naive, but John, you're the first person I've ever heard that said, "Hey, you know what? That fight yesterday probably."
I'm not even saying it was thrown, but like if he's already mentally retired, like his last fight is like, I'm done. I don't want to do this anymore. But the UFC is like, hey, we're going to make the most money off of you and him fighting. Be ready to fight on this date. It's like, I don't want to do it. I really want to be retired. And they're like, okay, we're going to give you this much money. And
yeah, but how much, sorry to cut you off, John. How much money did he make? Some people were rumoring that his purse was going to be 200 and 200.
Let me look at
yes, that was per the Nevada State Athletic Commission, because you have to report your pay to the commission. It has to be put like an escrow account to make sure the money's there.
It looks like he'll payday of his career. Yeah, 1.3. Those are the early returns.
But he, whether he got pay-per-view points is probably something that they probably threw at him.
He might have got a piece of the gate too. Yeah.
So he probably got they do backroom bonuses, indiscretionary bonuses, whatever.
Oh,
so
sure.
They might have cut him a check for $500,000 because they've done that for guys before as incentive. Go out there, fight one last one, put on a show. Wink, wink.
Didn't put on
and then maybe they give him some pay-per-view points.
I don't even think they're going to care about the show though. Last night they weren't even announcing it. They said that was the 4th highest pay-per-view that the UFC's ever brought in at like 10.7 million supposedly. So yeah. That's what they broadcast last night.
Well, McGregor's the A side, Cowboy's the B side,
exactly.
Right? Like that's probably why that was. All right. Well, listen, man, he made $1.3 million. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I mean, like it or not, that's that it is what it is.
Well, I mean,
all right.
That's the thing is like these numbers, they sound like a lot to regular guys, but when you look at percentages, it's garbage.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Would you think, an NFL player making, 5% of what the NFL generates? Would you think that's a lot of money?
That would be a shitload of money because the NFL makes about, I think they're like at $9-10 billion a year.
Well, do you realize that NFL players actually make 50% of it?
They get 50. Well, see, here's the thing.
No,
they
negotiate between 49 and 52% of the gross revenue.
Well, here's
that
where
the NFL makes.
Yeah, well, here's where the collective bargaining agreement sort of
boxers make 55 to 85%.
Mm-hmm.
So you got these guys, MMA fighters, like their total take is 8 to 19%. Like it's terrible. These guys.
Well, this is why the
$1 million is a lot, but he should have made 10.
Sure,
he should have made 10.
Right?
He got robbed. He got stolen. The UFC stole money from him. That's what happened. Well, at one point, whatever sounds like a lot of money, but it's not. Like he should have made $10 or $15 million.
What he should have made. Yeah. This is why the lion's share of McGregor's net worth comes from the Mayweather fight. And listen,
because of the Ali Act.
Yeah, right. Listen, Tito Ortiz, Chuck Liddell, those guys are almost, I don't want to say the founding fathers, but those guys didn't really make any money. They didn't make any money. So McGregor said, dude, I got to do this fight with fucking Floyd Mayweather. I
will say that when Tito and Chuck were around, they actually made more of a percentage than the guys do now. It was closer to like 20, it went from like 22 or in the 24 even maybe down to 19.
Boys,
and they set up their business strategy so that it would maintain 19 and never went above or below 19. So that the guys fighting for the UFC would never make more than that. And that was a part of their selling strategy to help sell the UFC. And that's how they shop it around to sponsors and other people too.
So how does it change though? Right?
What's that?
How does it change? Because I agree with you, dude.
The Ali Act. We need the same federal law that protects boxers. Like they started in 2000. The Ali Act was implemented to protect boxers from guys like Don King. Like the manipulation, right?
Bob Arum. Yeah, Bob Arum, Oscar De La Hoya.
They passed federal legislation to keep them away from that, but it only says boxers. Like we're trying to expand it into covering all combat sports athletes.
And let's keep it real. MMA fights generate more income and buzz now than boxing matches. Boxing, they don't?
No, boxing has always been a bigger sport. It had a little bit of a slump. Why I went through some adjustment time.
Yeah, the heavyweight division.
But it's more of a global sport. It generates more money. The payoffs are better. The fighters on every level make more money. They're doing better.
I did not know that. Okay, well, all right. Because
like the things that Don King was doing back in the day that were so terrible. Well, Dana White does all of those things too. There's nothing stopping him from doing that. And on top of that, Dana also controls rank and title. Don King never controlled the rank or the title. He had to at least pay somebody off.
Well, yeah, he had the marionette. Hey, listen, you're going to go and fight the number 5 contender. You're going to take a dive in the 4th round so I can move this guy up and all that stuff. I just didn't realize
he would make guys that challenged his guys that were signed with him for the title. He'd say, okay, well, if you win the title, you're under my management now. Like you're under my promotion.
I just did not realize, because the way they spin the narrative, I guess maybe I'm a sucker this way.
It's pro wrestling. That's why I say it's pro wrestling. They're selling a narrative to people.
Well, you would think that MMA fights make, not fighters, but MMA fights make more than boxing matches. But apparently that's not. I will tell you this.
Well, part of the UFC is doing better, but because of the monopolization that they've developed, it's choking the rest of the sport off. Like,
is that why there are other types of MMA?
Because it limits the number of promoters you can have, because you can't really sign anybody and run a promotion because everybody is always trying to leave you to go to the UFC.
Jesus Christ, man!
Like so UFC controls
burning it at both ends.
UFC at least controls 90% of all the revenue globally. Like everybody else in the world that has a promotion is fighting for 10%.
Sure. Well, I do know this. I do know that Tyson Fury, Deontay Wilder, coming up the 22nd. That's gonna be absolutely. That's gonna do big numbers, man.
Big numbers.
That's gonna do big numbers, man. Yeah, it'll do bigger numbers. Now, Mayweather McGregor, I think they said that was the second highest. I think that was the second highest rated MMA fight or pay-per-view of all time. Of course, Mayweather has like the top, like, I don't know, maybe like 5.
Again, that's why I say it's pro wrestling. It's two guys who I don't think are in the top 10.
Let me take this call real quick, guys. The caller's back on. Let's see if this is my first time dealing with fucking Blog Talk. So let's see how it goes. All right, caller, can you hear me? Hello. Let's see if we can. Nope. Oh, that's what I did wrong. Blue Talk.
Oh, okay. Now the chat, the chat is going all crazy. I can't see anything.
Yeah, no worries, no worries. We're gonna X this out. We're gonna call it there. I'm gonna not on the show itself, but just on Blog Talk. Screw it. We'll just keep having a combo.
It takes time.
Yeah, I gotta learn how to play with it. That's all.
Yeah, I've been fucking with Blog Talk for years, man. It takes a little practice.
Yeah. I was gonna try to do it off my phone so that I could hold it here because I don't know how it's gonna relay over onto the live show.
Oh, dude, get a listen. You and I should talk. Pay $60, get a sound mixer. You can have it go right from the mixer to the yeah.
Cool. I have a what's it called mixer right now. We'll talk about it offline, but it's not like a full blown mixer. It's like we'll talk about it afterwards. No big deal. Sorry, Brent.
Again.
Yeah, my main dude was asking the question. I'll actually, because I know what his question is going to be, I'll read the kind of thing that he's going through right now. He just kind of had a breakdown today. He's like 2 months into like red pill, kind of had his own awakening. Has realized like he's only slept with about 4 women outside of prostitutes. So I said, he's banged a bunch of prostitutes before, but he's never really had game. He's got older parents who've pretty much babied him. His mom is like a full-blown feminist who put an ad in the paper back in the 90s or whatever that lured her father in. So the beta provider ended up pretty much breaking up with the husband, his father, like 4 or 5 months later, or 4 or 5 years later. He's the oldest of 2, him and his brother. Mom, like I said, full-blown feminist. She's not very caring. She's not a very sweet individual. Obviously, she's a feminist. Father is a beta who just kind of let her walk all over. He's never really learned game. He's in great shape. He just had and the reason why he came to the red pill was he had colon cancer last year, pretty much broke down to like nothing, and then survived colon cancer at 24 years old, had his colon removed, and has built himself back up. He's like a $185 at like fucking 10% body fat now. He's a fucking ripped dude, good looking. He's listening to all my advice so far as game is concerned, but he just kind of had like a mental breakdown because what's going on now is he realizes how toxic his family is there in New Jersey. He's packing up. He's moving out. Like he doesn't live with them, but he lives around them. Packing up, moving out. He's thinking about moving to Arizona or Florida, but he's having some tough time. Like that's what I said too. I said move to Arizona.
Yeah, East Coast, man.
And he's just having a tough time with game right now. He went out and did some night game the other night with 2 of the guys that are part of the out in Philly, and he got eaten alive. Like he got eaten alive in Philly. So he's having all these emotions come up because he's just kind of striking out a bit, even though he's talking to a lot of women online right now. He's just fucking up the clothes. So
I'll tell you what, his first mistake is making pussy his number 1 goal, right? And a lot of guys, and I did this myself, when you find the red pill and you sort of figure things out, you want to fuck a bunch of bitches because that's what guys want to do. That's what we want to do. And you might have a little bit of initial success, in the beginning, but at some point you're going to hit a slump. And sometimes you don't even get off the ground like your guy didn't, right? And so what ends up happening is that they start getting depressed and then they're right back to square one. What any guy should do after a breakup or finding the red pill or after a divorce, you got to get off the grid, man. Go into what I think we call it monk mode. Get off the grid, deactivate all social media, live in the gym, consume red pill content 24/7 for 3 to 6 months. When you come out, you're going to be refreshed. Like that's the way, again, that's the way that's going to have to be. Now, I was fortunate. I was able to have a lot of success early on. And so that's sort of, I don't know, I get, one beget the other, right? So I was like, all right, this red pill stuff is definitely working. But at some point, like, dude, you fuck every blonde, brunette, and redhead, and it's just not as fulfilling as it used to be. And I know a lot of guys probably think, dude, what is not fulfilling about fucking a bunch of bitches? Listen, sticking your dick in a new vagina never gets old. But at some point when you've been there and done that, you're kind of looking for something else. That could lead to depression, right? I'm not going to sit here and tell you guys that having, being spoiled for choice with women is going to lead you to depression, but it's not like going after women and fucking hot girls. It's like eating junk food, right? It tastes great now, but it doesn't really do anything for you. It's just empty. It's just empty calories. This is why you build things. This is why you cultivate hobbies, talent, learn a new language, travel, etc. So again, I think what you need to advise that guy to do is just get off the grid. Girls aren't going anywhere. Okay. Girls are turning 18 years old every second of every minute of every day. They're not going anywhere. Get off the grid for 6 months, get your body right, get your mind right, get your finances right, and you're good to go.
Yeah. So just to break that down, clarify, it's plain and simple. Because what he's doing right now is this. He's going to the gym. He's designing his life that way. Instead of having that kind of feedback of women being his ultimate kind of like, I've reached this destination. Yeah. It's like, fuck it. Just turn that dial down all the way. Like if it comes your way, take it, but don't go out there pursuing it as though it's going to be the best thing. Just keep consuming more and more. But I mean, I'll tell you what, I did that when I kind of started waking up too for probably good. And I'm not going to lie. I've never had issues either. I've never had issues. So it's hard for me as someone to sit here and do that. Like I could at least pull 2 women a month, even when I wasn't trying. Right. So sure. It's not easy for me to go.
Sometimes when you're trying real hard, that's you're getting in your own way.
Yeah. It's commission breath like crazy.
If you're putting most of your energy into building yourself, you keep it at least 60-40, probably 70-30 with your energy towards whatever self-improvement, education.
You'd be surprised too how devastating it is when you don't have income coming in, how weak your confidence level goes down.
Oh yeah,
dude. I don't like dating if I don't have secure, money stream.
And they could smell it. It's not that they can smell money. They just smell.
I think I know they can smell it. So I don't want to.
Yeah, exactly.
Like I don't want to go out there with this false confidence.
Right?
Yeah,
exactly.
A lot of guys are good at that. Yeah, I think a lot, and you'd be surprised, and it's weird how this sometimes happens. But when you have when you think that having success with women is the ultimate in manhood, it goes away. When you have success with women, that teaches you that that's not really what life is about.
Not
right?
Really that hard.
No, it's not. It's not. And unfortunately for young men these days, they grow up in this culture of, listen, the rite of passage is having sex for the very first for the very first time. No, that's
Finding
not a
your
rite of
true love.
Yeah, get the fuck out of here. No, sex is great. It does not fulfill you. Not even men.
Dude, Donovan, I like that. I talk about rites of passage a lot, but I've never had that kind of epiphany like you just presented. The fact that is your rite of passage is.
Why do you think so many guys are pussies?
Losing your virginity. It's like, and first and foremost,
you're a man.
I don't think, have you said it before? Men don't lose their virginity.
No, I've said that before. Men don't lose their virginity. They have sex for the first time. Exactly.
There's nothing in your value necessarily like a woman, right? When you don't lose your purity, as a matter of fact. And that's one of the biggest things that men have to start to understand. And I kind of got into it a little bit with Hunter Drew and Tanner Guzzi on Twitter back when I had a Twitter account, because they said a high lay count or a high notch count has nothing to do with masculinity. And there's nothing further from the truth. The fact is, the more you sleep with women, the more you're able to shed light on female behavior, and it reinforces how it actually is. And I think that's a better way for you to be able to learn a masculine frame, plain and simple.
But the thing is, they play devil's advocate. There's always a learning curve. Some guys learn faster than others.
You're right.
So they might figure it out.
But to sit there and say that you need to remain pure, as though your value comes from your chastity is not, it's counterintuitive to masculinity. So that's where my point comes in.
Well, I think it's just a point of view. I think he's saying that, or they might be saying that, don't put your self-worth as a man in how many girls you can have sex with.
Sure.
Does that make sense?
I mean, this is going to go into the discussion.
I think there's 2 ways to look at that. I think you guys might just be off center.
So there's 2 ways to look at it. Let me hop in real quick. Yeah. 2 ways to look at it. There's numerous ways for you to define what a man is. There's numerous ventures that you have to partake in, right? So your identity of just being able to bang as many hoes doesn't make you a man. right? But it's just like going out and becoming Jeff Bezos and getting as much money in the world doesn't make you a man either, as we're starting to see with Elon Musk and all these guys. It has to be multifaceted. So that's why I'm saying, like, you have to, I think you need to be trained in violence. I think you need to be trained in aggression, but I think you also need to be trained in fucking sexual prowess and understand females' behavior, feminine, like female, you know, just women, all this stuff that we're talking about. Go ahead.
Women, listen, if you know how to fight and you know how to fuck, you're going to fuck women. That's how this goes, right? If you can fight and you can fuck, absolutely.
And make money. Like, if you could fight, fucking make money, you're a fucking, you're already up there in your SMV. Like, well, SMV is already established
from 95% from 95% of men up there. Going back to what you were saying about the masculinity thing, I will say this: women don't fuck men who are not masculine. That's just all there is to it, right? So while I don't agree with, hey, the more women you sleep with, the more masculine you are, I would say the more women you sleep with, I think and I'm trying to look for the right way to say this, the more women let you fuck them, the more masculine you probably are, right? You don't get to define how masculine you are. You don't get to say, well, I'm a masculine male. No, the sexual marketplace defines your masculinity. You want to know how they define it? By fucking you, right? So you can call yourself masculine, but if women aren't fucking you, you're probably not masculine. That's how that goes. So while fucking a bunch of women does not make you masculine per se, it's usually a pretty strong indicator that you do have a little bit more masculinity than the average man.
Well, my whole context behind that too is this. You know, I sit here and I look at these guys that are trying to promote the God pill. I'm not trying to like, yeah. Well, you need to start watching some stuff on what's going on with Roosh right now. And
dude,
kind of like what.
Dude, I was texting him like a half an hour ago. Like,
no way.
Dude, I've known Roosh for years.
You used to write for Return of Kings.
Yeah, I used to write for dude. He came to my place for 4th of July and, you know, did the whole tour thing. Yeah, like, I know that Roosh is definitely, I didn't know that he was calling it the God pill, but I do know that I had no idea it was called the God pill. Like, I just didn't know.
We're kind of converting that. We're coining that term, so to speak.
Yeah. Wow. Holy shit. Man.
Well, because what's going on right now is there's a section and a segment of the red pill that's kind of converting over to the neocon conservatism type of thing that's trying to like reverberate that old school style of like 1950s type of when Christianity was the apex, and that's kind of the style of how things were, of, you know, promoting women as pure and men kind of stepping up in this traditional role. And it's like, you can't put that cat back in the bag kind of deal.
Yeah.
So that's what Tanner and Hunter are kind of trying to promote to these guys. And I look at that as another reason and another way by which feminism will be on the rise again, because what birthed feminism was that old school mentality of men propping up women as these pure, innocent, types of creatures, right?
Well, I don't think that's what Tanner and Hunter do. I can't believe that Tanner and Hunter are saying, well, listen, women are pure and innocent. Like, right. I don't get that from them.
You're right. So what I'm saying is, I'm not saying that they're saying that, but what I'm saying is their methods by which what they're trying to recreate is going to lead to that kind of same old upbringing, right? When you just teach guys this one way and you don't give them the why, they create an ideal. That makes right. Sense. It's like the reason why the red pill is being birthed right now is because of blue pill conditioning. So what was the pretext and what was the context by which the blue pill was able to be brought in?
Get this. Make no mistake, Tanner Guzzi is the outlier. He is the exception to the rule. He's a tall, good-looking guy. He's got a beautiful wife and 4 kids. They all love him. That is not the norm. Right. So again, I'm not trying to kill anybody's spirit. Can you marry a beautiful woman and have a beautiful family that loves and respects you? Absolutely. It's just very difficult, if not impossible, to do that today. And if you're going and as a man, what you need to do is you need to put yourself in position to be able to handle what you're going to encounter 95 to 99% of the time, than to wait for your special 1%er. I think that's what you're trying to say.
And that's exactly what I'm saying is you can't teach the outliers as being the standard for society.
That's right.
Because what happens is correct. So when you do that, you create an ideal, and it goes contrary to what our natural order is. Okay. So
I agree.
So, and there's nothing against Tanner. Like I actually like the guy. I think what he's doing right now is awesome stuff. It's just there's a little bit of an area where he's misguided, and that's where I kind of come in on that whole thing.
I think he's just offering the perspective from, you know, being Mormon and Latter-day Saints and their community.
Correct. It's part of his belief structure. So if you believe that way, that's how you see the world through. It's your filter. Sure. So it's like, well, it worked out for me, so therefore I should teach everybody else this way. And it's like I think there's more foundational truths that need to be discussed in that. And
listen,
from what I've come to, go ahead.
No, listen, what you're saying is spot on. And what a lot of men need to understand is that really, really good looking guys are very rarely red pill. And well, how can you say that, Donovan? They've got women throwing themselves at them all the time. No. Good looking guys always get the best of women. They get the best of what women have to offer. Good looking guys get women who are polite. They get women trying to do things for them without doing anything but looking good. So when guys like us come in here and say, well, listen, you can't trust bitches and all women are like that and they'll divorce rape you and they'll baby trap you. The guys are like, wait a minute, what are you talking about? Like I've never had any problems with women. No shade on the good-looking guy, but as a good-looking guy, you don't really understand what it's like to be in to see the sexual marketplace from a normal point of view. Guys who look good, the top 1%ers, they will never know the true depths of a woman's hypergamy, her licentiousness, her salaciousness, just how slutty they are, because they always get the best of women. It's Correct. Just like good-looking women not really understanding how the other half lives, right? Hot girls don't have to be useful because they've never had to be useful, right? All they had to be was hot. Well, you take that over to the guys, they've never really seen the worst in women because women are always giving them the best of everything.
Yeah, that's one thing I talk about right now too with some of these guys, because people come to me and they're like, well, I have this guy as kind of who I'm looking up to be. Like, let's use Tate for instance. Tate can run Instagram game and he can do all this stuff, and that's why he can sit around and call all you guys dorks and dweebs, right? It's because Tate was on a fucking TV show. He was on Big Brother in England. He was, and then he was a kickboxing world champ and all this stuff. He's been in the social. Well, the thing is though, before he did all that stuff, he was in the social spotlight. He was already popular and famous, right? So for the majority of his upbringing, he's never actually had to go and run day game on women. He's never actually had to do online dating. He's never had to be in this is what I call the trenches, right? When you're not in the trenches of having to pick up women and understand their true behavior, you don't understand the reality of the world, right? You can instead create these courses and you can kind of go around being a personality and all this other stuff and make fun of people and call people dorks. And it's like, you don't understand what 95% of people have to live with.
Sure. I can disagree with that a little bit because you see, because you can still observe people's behaviors. And you'll see girls tree branch from one fighter to another fighter because she knows, oh shit, this guy's not paying off. This guy's not going to be there. I've seen it. You start to see this world. I made excuses about it.
I'm not trying to knock Tate whatsoever, but what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to show people certain personality traits too with that kind of setup. Sure, is he able to learn stuff? I think Tate's a fucking genius when it comes to a lot of stuff, honestly. But at the same token, you got to also look at, you got to take a look at your situation in life. You don't have all that social media. You're not going to be able to get into 9s and 10s inboxes. You don't have a blue check mark. Now, granted, John Fitch has a blue check mark, but,
shit.
Yeah. Dude, this kid's got fucking 115, 113, 117,000 followers on Twitter. John Fitch does 100 something like that.
I think what you're trying to say, Corey, and I guess I'll try and break it down like this.
Go ahead.
A personal Twitter though.
Well, that's another topic. But I think that as let's take personal trainer for example. I'm sure there are personal trainers out there who have always been in fantastic shape, and they're probably very effective. But if you have a personal trainer that used to be fat and got himself into shape, he's probably going to be more effective because he's been down that road. Correct. Andrew Tate has never really had to deal with the worst of women. He's got social proof. He's a kickboxer, all this other kind of stuff. And so while a lot of things he says are true, he doesn't really know what it's like to fail with women miserably. dude, I have had many, many miserable failures with women. This is why I am very, very, very good at what I do. And this is why I know what I'm talking about, because I have seen and experienced the worst that women have to offer. And I think that's what you're trying to say. What you're trying to say is that, listen, Cobra Tate's never really had to battle with women. He's never really had failures with women. I'm sure you could probably learn from him, but you're probably going to learn a lot more from someone who's been down that dark road.
That's why, honestly, and this is not me trying to suck you off here whatsoever, but I think currently right now, you're the one that has the best prescription, plain and simple. Because it's crazy, man. Your ability to diagnose and point these small things out. I sit there and I shake my head. I'm like, yes. I just wasn't ever able to codify it in my mind. Like you are able to break it down, and you break it down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, boom. And it's like, even the thing that's most impressive about you too is you're a black dude that calls out black people.
Yep. Oh yeah.
You have no fucking shame whatsoever. And you break it down perfectly. Like there is no argument you could give me when it comes to the black community and their issues. And you fucking go right into it, man. It's insane. But
it's experience, right? Like the only reason why I'm able to look at an article or a video and pick up on every little thing. Like if some girl writes an article, I broke up with the love of my life. He asked me straight up, are you cheating on me? I said, no. He said, are you looking for anybody else? Like, are somebody else on your like, no, I'm not looking for any of that right now. Right now is the operative word. That's the part you catch, right? So when a woman tells you I'm not cheating on you, guess what, guys? She's telling you the truth. Well, what are you talking about? She was fucking somebody yesterday. No. When a woman says I'm not cheating on you, she means right now, as of right now, January 19th, 2020 at 6:03 Eastern Standard Time, I am not fucking anybody, right? But maybe 7:30 I will be, but you didn't ask about that, right?
Yeah.
And the reason I know this stuff is because I've been through it. I've had girls tell me I'm not looking for anything right now. Oh, okay, well, I guess I'm in the clear. 2 weeks later, I find out she's fucking somebody else right now. That's the reason I'm able to break this stuff down, because I have lived this shit. Everybody asks me, Donovan, how are you able to read these minds? How are you able to break it? Dude, I've been used and abused. I've been in so many different situations, so many fucked up situations with women. You can't help but to learn from that experience, man. And again, it's I don't want to say the school of the hard knocks, but experience is the best teacher. Everything I talk about, everything I break down, I have been through with a woman personally. This is why I know what I'm saying is true.
So what John and I talk a lot about on this channel too is, we kind of came in at first and we're like, hey, we want to start building up masculinity and kind of help heal and get people back into masculinity to help heal the West. But I think we're both from the same point of view that the West isn't able to be saved.
No.
So then
the currents have shifted. All we can do is see where the currents are going and figure out how to ride them the best we can.
So my question to you too is this, Donovan, because I foresee this. I think that this group of men, honestly, that's operating in this circle, I think that we are going to become mainstream here pretty soon.
I think it's going to happen soon. Yep.
Yeah. And I think the other thing too is this, just like what you said, it's no longer going to be people that are just theoretical. It's going to be people are going to come to, and they're going to pay top dollar for those that have the experience, but then also have the charisma and the ability to teach. So then let me ask you
real quick before you go to your next point. That's the difference between content creators and content consumers. See, here's the thing, Corey. There are a lot of guys out here who know exactly what we know. Right? There are a lot of guys who have red pill awareness, but just like you said, sometimes you're just not able to codify it. You're not able to make it intangibly tangible, if that makes any sense. In other words, a lot of guys know a lot of things, but if you don't have the ability to teach it, then you can't really help anybody, right? Well, that's the unique position that we're in. We have experience and we're able to convey it to people in such a way that it's very consumable. People can actually learn from us.
Correct. Now, the question is to you then, what do you think, just kind of spitballing, what do you think is going to happen? What do you think where do you think we're going? in general, society, civilization. How is this going to get thrusted into the mainstream and so forth? Like, if you were to be like Donovan Stradamus for a second,
Don Stradamus.
Don Stradamus.
Yeah, I'll answer this question, and then I got to jump because
no worries.
I got dinner waiting on me.
Yeah,
I think that it is definitely. I think that the red pill is definitely. If ever there was a chance for the red pill to go mainstream, it is absolutely this year. And the reason for that is because of the election. We had the conversation off the air before we all came on the air. Is content creators like us are under attack because these big platforms are trying to control the message, right? They don't want to quote censor us, but they can set their algorithms that don't find us in the search boxes. They can suspend our channels. They can take away our channels, forcing us to put things behind a paywall so that we don't get reported by the cat hair covered feminists. Well, that's great, but if they can't see our content, then neither can guys who need our content, right? But the fact that we have as close to a red pill president as we've ever had in history, that's what's going to thrust this into the mainstream. I think that the 2020 election, there are going to be a couple of one prediction I'm going to make here. The 2020 election, there will be more people will cast votes for the president than in U.S. history. Usually, what's the voter turnout? Like 25%? Yeah. That number is probably going to be somewhere in the 60s or 70s.
They're going 40s, to be, but yeah,
this is going to be, listen, this is going to be the highest. This is going to be the highest voter turnout in U.S. history. And I think that red pill content is going to be thrust into the forefront because red pillars are absolutely pro Donald Trump.
Yeah. Who do you think is going to be the Democratic nominee?
Oh, shit, man. Does it matter?
I think it's going to be Bloomberg. It does.
I think it's going to be Bloomberg. I think it's Bloomberg. Yeah, I think it's Bloomberg. I don't know. Maybe it's an East Coast bias, but
Rolo and I were talking about this a little bit offline yesterday.
Biden's compromised.
Yeah, Biden's. Yeah,
they won't allow Bernie. They won't let Bernie.
You got to understand where we are right now. Hear me out. This is the writing on the wall right now. They're not going to let Bernie win. It's going to be Elizabeth Warren. And they're going to try to pit. They're going to try to do a her versus him type of election.
That's the only way they're going to win it.
And because what they're expecting, think about the years and years and years of boiling water and getting women so riled up and trying to promote the fact that like it's her turn. They're gonna put her in there because they're gonna expect women to
register
go out
as a Democrat and vote for Tulsi Gabbard.
Dude, that'd be hilarious. But then what if she gets elected? Oh no.
Oh,
anyway.
Oh my God.
Anyway, yeah, that's what my thing is. I think the next secret weapon that they're going to try to do after the impeachment thing goes under is that they're going to put Elizabeth Warren in and they're going to try to promote her.
I agree with you and stay with me here. In the 2008 election, nobody was going to stop Obama. Obama wasn't a candidate. He was a revolution. The reason why John McCain selected Sarah Palin as his running mate, that was his Hail Mary. He knew that it was going to take something monumentous to make a dent in the Obama machine. Of course, he lost by a landslide. You can't put an old white Democrat like Bernie Sanders against a guy like Donald Trump. Trump will wipe the floor with his ass. Honestly, I thought it was going to be Alexandra Ocasio-Cortez or whatever the hell.
There's a lot of people, though, who want free stuff. So I think there's an appeal for Bernie. There really is, but they'll never let him be the nominee because
he doesn't have a chance against Trump. Whoa,
because the people in power don't really want social.
Who's that?
Or whatever.
The Chiefs beat the Titans.
Yeah. I put that up.
Title game, and they are headed to the Super Bowl. All right.
Yep, sure.
I agree with you, John. Yeah. I agree with you, John. I agree with you. Yeah.
Cool. Well, let's all get going because it's dinner time and all that good stuff.
Yes, sir.
Donovan. Big time. Thanks for coming on here.
Absolutely, man. It was a pleasure.
If you don't mind, stick around for maybe like 2 minutes afterwards. Let's have a quick chat and then get you out of here. But anyway, for the rest of you guys, Donovan, why don't you go ahead and just pimp your stuff real quick? Like for instance, that course that you have on what's it called? On pretty much training your woman. I think. I watched that whole series when you put it on free to your YouTube channel. It was fucking awesome. It was awesome.
Yeah.
But anyway, go ahead. Tell people where to find you. Tell people what to consume and all that stuff. So
go to DonovanSharpe.com. DonovanSharpe.com is actually kind of it's in a transitional period. I'm actually building and launching a new independent streaming platform and an independent social media platform. And so what It is literally going to be my very own platform that I can stream my live videos to. And because this has taken a lot of work and a lot of money and a lot of research and a lot of building and stuff, so my website isn't in the best shape right now. But if you go to donovansharpe.com, go to courses, how to build a quality woman from the ground up, it's 7 hours on how to vet your woman, how to train your woman, how to be selective, how to train the bad behaviors out of her while training the good behaviors in her. And yes, make no mistake, you have to train your woman. I'm not going to be politically correct. No, there's no. You have to train your woman. And the reason you have to train your woman is because when your woman is born in the West, she has behaviors that are so ingrained into them, she needs to be trained, right? So anybody who has I don't want to train my woman, then okay, well, listen, I got nothing to tell you, man. Like that's if you're not interested in training your woman, then you're not interested in having at least a meaningful relationship. You're gonna have to do the hard thing, right? A lot of guys don't want to do what's hard to keep their woman in line. My course is gonna tell you what to do. It's not fucking easy, right? You gotta have some backbone. You gotta have some fucking spine. You gotta have that abundance mindset. But if you can get a woman through that course, chances are you probably won't. But if you can, odds are pretty good that you're gonna have a pretty good relationship. So that's what I have here. Ajax 88 nailed it right on the head. Good women are made, not born. 100% correct. All women have to do. They don't even see. We as men, we have to be proactive to be sexually attractive. We got to learn how to fight. We got to be in good shape. We got to learn how to handle women. We got to be good with money. All women have to do is keep it on the road. Stay awake at the wheel, and she'll have a pick of any man they want. And I'm going to end it with this. Women have no idea how lucky they are. If a woman could make it to the age of 18 as a virgin with no tattoos and not getting fat, she has literally won the lottery. An 18-year-old virgin with no tattoos who is still fit has a lottery ticket. She can have any man she wants, any 8, 9, 10-figure network man that she wants to. Unfortunately for women, they can't take advantage of the fact that all they have to do is keep it on the road. This explains why men are just stronger and more superior to women. We have to make ourselves into men, right? Women just have to be, but they can't even do that. They freaking eating pizza, eating cocks. It's all
dude. They drink like fish now, dude. They drink every fucking day, Donovan.
Crazy.
It's fucking terrible. Anyway, great stuff, man. John Fitch, where can people find you at, and what do you have to offer them?
Go to johnfitch.net and sign up for the newsletter. I've got a book, Failing Upward Death by Ego, talks about my early career days. It's going to be part of a series. I'm still working on book 2. Keep an eye out for my weight cutting book. It should be out in the next month or 2. I'm waiting on some pictures from Bellator. I'm waiting for some approval to be able to use some pictures. I've got some seminars coming up. I had one yesterday, self-defense, basic self-defense. I did it at AKA here in San Jose. I got some other ones coming up here in San Jose. I'm gonna try to do about once a month. And the content for that, I'm going to put together into a online course, basic online self-defense course for people to do. Just got to get that situated. So yeah, sign up for the newsletter. Check out my Patreon. I have weekly technique videos coming up. I do podcast. John Fitch Knows Nothing. Oh, somebody's driving
That's
by
clever.
outside.
I like that. Kind of looks like you're in a Unabomber cabin out there, man. What's going on?
Official John Fitch is my YouTube. So check out some of my videos there. But yeah,
sweet.
Always busy doing something.
Gentlemen, thanks, John Fitch. Gentlemen, I have finished and completed my second book. It will be out soon. I will be marketing it to you mofos like nobody's business. But in celebration of me completing this fucking dynasty that I'm going to be creating, I'm giving out my first book for free. Shit. If you want a free copy of my book, you need to email me at agodofmen@gmail.com, which is in the chat
right now. I'm sending it right. Oh no, I've already got your email address. Yeah. Hook me up, dude.
Yeah. I'll send you a free. Get up for sure. We'll do. Yeah, you can read my first book there, but the second book, I'm telling you guys, is going to be fucking insane. It's going to be insanely remarkable. With that said, just go ahead, shoot me that email. If you want to become a part of the War Tribe, I'm going live with my guys in about an hour and 45 minutes for a 2-hour webinar where you're able to ask questions. You got to be a part of the War Tribe. So go to www.thewartribe.com. thewartribe.com in the ticker below if you want to become part of that. With that said, if you want anything else as far as my products are concerned, details are in the description below. With that said, guys, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for the good questions, and thanks for being the fucking best supporters in the world. I'll talk to you guys later. See you around.
Laters.